Hey, what's going on, everybody? Slayer back here again with another video. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I have a little bit over 3 months of sobriety, and I create these videos not only to help myself stay sober, but to help you guys out there stay sober as well. Right off the bat, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that commented on yesterday's video about Dirk and him passing. The words of encouragement, the kind comments, all of it, man, it was awesome. It really it inspires me to keep on the right path. It's like I said, it is horrible, tragic news, but we need to use things as lessons and as inspiration for us to keep pushing forward, because we don't want to end up gone from this disease, man. I've said it before, alcoholism, addiction, it's life or death. It's not a game, it's not a joke. A lot of the times as alcoholics and addicts, we toy around, we play around, and sometimes we do that until it's too late, and then we're gone. And there is no more second chance. There is no more, oh, let me go to rehab one more time, or let me try to, do this one more time. You're gone, man. You're 6 feet under, and I really don't want to see any of you guys or myself be 6 feet under. But yeah, man, just thank you guys, and to the people that are commenting, the guys and girls that are commenting on every single video, man, you guys know who you are. Ginormous shout out to you guys. You guys inspire me. You guys keep me going on the path of sobriety, and I know just from reading your feedback, I know that I'm helping you guys as well, so that's just incredible. It makes me very happy to see that this channel is doing exactly what I intended it to do, helping me stay sober and helping you guys stay sober as well. So again, thank you. Now let's jump into the topic of this video. In today's video, I thought that I would actually discuss what my daily routine was like as an alcoholic there at the end, once it was pretty much at its worst. Well, what was it other than a fucking complete nightmare disaster? Yeah, I want to get into like the details of like the start of my day to the finish of my day, what like an average day for me was like. So yeah, man, let's just get right into it. Usually my day would start out just like anybody else's. I'm waking up, but instead of waking up like a normal person, feeling rejuvenated, I'd be waking up in such a fucking haze, I wouldn't even know what was happening half the time. A lot of the times the night before, I had drank so much that I was completely blackout, so I'm just waking up in a completely dazed and confused, like the Led Zeppelin song. Not a good feeling, man, especially when you were blackout the night before and you have no memory of what took place. That's a scary feeling because you have no idea what could have happened. I remember waking up sometimes after being blackout drunk the night before and literally getting down on the bedside and praying like, man, God, I hope that nothing fucking horrible happened, because I have zero recollection of it. It's a terrible, terrible, horrible feeling, man. But yeah, that's usually how my day right off the bat would start. Just groggy, horrible. And it would take me a good hour to get out of that initial, how you wake up and you can be awake, but you're half asleep. I would be in that state for an hour, and I actually enjoyed that state more than being awake, because in that state my body was still at peace. The withdrawals and just the hangover effects wouldn't have kicked in by then. The mental just mess wouldn't have kicked in by then, so I actually kind of enjoyed it. And then once I would actually wake up, that's when I just start to feel awful, almost right off the bat. I mean, I'd get up. Sometimes I'd get up and my heart would be fucking pounding out of my chest. I mean, I would think that I was going to have a heart attack. I mean, it was like I was 90 years old, guys. I'm in my late 20s, by the way. Some people have asked me how old I am. I'm in my later 20s, if anybody was wondering. And at this time, I was younger than what I am now, and I would feel like I was... Sorry about that little cut, guys. But yeah, man, I would feel like I was 90 years old or something. I mean, it wasn't cool, man. I shouldn't have been feeling like that, but it just shows how damaging the alcohol was to my body. On top of it, I was smoking a fucking 1,000 cigarettes a day, which probably didn't help anything. Smoking weed left and right, just a very unhealthy lifestyle. So I would wake up feeling like absolute and utter trash. I'd get up, sometimes I'd instantly have to go throw up, which was always, it's kind of interesting, guys. I used to have a horrible fear of throwing up, and I would try to do anything in my power to prevent myself from throwing up. And over time, after becoming an alcoholic and being sick literally hundreds of times, I'm at the point now that throwing up is just like nothing to me. It doesn't, you know what I mean? It's second nature. It's kind of sad, but it's reality. That's really what it is. So sometimes I'd run to the bathroom and throw up. And then after that, I would usually try and get like a glass of water in me if I could stomach drinking a glass of water. That's usually what I would do. But don't even get it wrong. The first thing that was on my mind every single morning as an alcoholic was alcohol. And how am I going to get alcohol? And do I have enough alcohol? Do I have some left over from the night before? And that's usually the first thing that I'd be searching for, is if I hid any, which a lot of the times, it's like I discussed in my one video, hiding alcohol from family and friends. A lot of times we have, our alcohol hidden from the night previous. So I'd be looking, and a lot of the times I'd find maybe a shooter under the, my pillow or something, or, maybe 2 or 3 left over. And I'd instantly be cracking that open. But the thing is, and I've seen, people make videos about this and do reenactments of it. I would be so fucking sick from, just my drinking and constantly doing it, and my body would literally reject it. So, I mean, I could hold a shooter and I could just look at the alcohol and actually be sick off of it. The smell of it, I mean, it was horrible, but I knew that I had to get it inside of my body to be able to hold off the withdrawals. Because withdrawals are that fucking bad, man. The insanity of what we put our bodies through, it's sad, man. It really is. So a lot of the times I would, let's say that this is a shooter right here. I'd crack it open, and it'd take me a good 5 minutes of encouragement to even, drink it. A lot of the times I would have some sort of, chaser and maybe some fruit, like an apple or something, some kind of food, and I would take it and then instantly try and eat something, try and, do my chaser, and 99% of the time, the first shot, I would always have to throw up. I mean, I would have to throw up the first shot in order to get the rest of the liquor down. And so I would, boom, take that, throw up, be horribly sick, but after I was sick, then I could drink and hold the rest of my liquor down, and that's where my day would start. I mean, what a great way to start your day. Your regular people are, waking up, getting ready for work, and a lot of the times I had to be to work, but it's just waking up sick every single morning. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth it at all. So I would throw that up, and then typically I would drink a few more. And if I was out at that point, then man, I would have to go get more. I mean, running out was like a nightmare. Instant panic. If I thought that I was gonna run out, man, I would have panic attacks. I'd start to freak the fuck out. I wouldn't know what to do with myself. So if I had money, I'd be heading to the liquor store to make sure that I had enough to last me the rest of the day. And if I didn't have enough money, man, I became like a full junkie towards the alcohol. Like when I was growing up, I didn't realize that I thought like only heroin addicts and shit, got this bad. But man, I got really fucking bad. If I didn't have the money, and you have to think, this was a daily routine. So whatever it took for me to get that fucking alcohol that day, I was going to do it. These are some shameful things that it's kind of hard to admit, but I know that this is going to help people, just being honest and being blunt, If I didn't have money to get more, I'd start planning and scheming. There was a lot of times that I'd be digging through couch cushions, ripping stuff open, going through old cabinets, going through old jars, literally digging through everything, looking for enough change to just go get some. And I found a lot of change in the beginning, but there by the end, I had taken every fucking penny, every quarter, every dollar that might have fallen out. I mean, the place was completely empty of any change by the time, like, at the end of my alcoholism, because I had taken all of it. I would be taking it, and sometimes I'd go in and think about it. Really let this settle in for you guys. Let this settle in for a moment, how embarrassing this is. But sometimes I would take pennies. I would gather 100, 200 pennies because I had nothing else. And the withdrawals were that bad. I knew I had to get well, quote unquote, even though I was just killing myself. And I would take those pennies over to the gas station and I would buy them. And man, talk about embarrassing, and of course the person behind the counter, they know. They're looking at you like, what the fuck? They know that I'm an alcoholic, and a lot of the times they would look at it, they'd count about 3 pennies and they'd be like, okay, bruh, here you go, take this shit. Like, they're not trying to waste their time counting a fucking 200 pennies, man. Insane, just insane. There were times that I took clothes to like clothing places that you could give away and they would give you cash. I did that. I remember back when GameStop, that you could take like old video games in and old, like, your controllers and shit, and you could trade that in for cash. They don't do that anymore now. They give you in-store credit. But I used to do that. I mean, I would call people up, use people, plan, scheme. I mean, just anything that I could do to keep my alcohol flow going in the day. And by, typically by like 4 o'clock, man, if I didn't have a job, which, man, I became, I was a non-functioning alcoholic there at the end. So, when it was at my worst, I didn't have a job. I'd usually be passing out, and this could be after I was already wasted and maybe a whole entire bunch of crazy shit went down, a whole bunch of drama. Maybe I drove drunk and did some crazy shit. I mean, just fucking crazy, I would pass out a lot of the times and I'd wake up, be right back into that cycle again, and I would just keep on drinking. I think I said this in another video, man. I was drinking like 12 plus 100 proof Southern Comfort shooters a day. It was fucking bad, man. My whole entire day revolved around how I was going to drink, where I was going to drink. And if alcohol wasn't involved, if I couldn't get alcohol there, or I couldn't have alcohol with me going someplace, I just wouldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I was too physically ill anyways if I wasn't drinking to go do anything at the time anyways. It was a completely unproductive waste of life, man. Alcohol in a lot of ways is like a time capsule, guys. We just get locked in this time capsule and everybody else's lives are moving forward and the world is progressing and we're just stuck right where we are, not moving forward at all, waking up to, man, just the same thing every single day. A lot of the times I'd be hoping that I didn't die. A lot of the times I would be thinking, man, one of these nights I'm not going to wake up. I'm going to puke on my own, vomit while I'm asleep. I'm going to, my liver's going to fail. Like, one of these days, it's just like, I'm just not going to make it, or my heart's going to fail. Like, horrible, scary shit. It was chaos. My ex-girlfriend, my family, and my friends, they'd be, terrified every single day. It was like a roll of the dice for them. They had no idea what they were going to get with me. Was it going to be a happy, drunk slayer, or was it going to be a pissed off, fucking breaking shit, punching holes in the wall, nutcase, slayer? I was definitely, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde when I was drinking. It really was a roll of the dice on a day-to-day basis. It was an absolute nightmare, man. It was hell on earth, and nobody should live that way. Nobody has to live that way. And if you're in the middle of living that way right now, man, I encourage you to get help. I encourage you to take the first step to do something right for your body and do something right for your soul, man. Get out of that nightmare, that hell. Because it was, man, there was days that I didn't know if I wanted to even live anymore, because, you're just killing your fucking brain off when you're drinking like that on a day-to-day basis, man. It's just so bad for you. And my night would end with a whole bunch of regret. A lot of the times people would be pissed off at me. I had, you know, made things even worse than they already were. And I'd be waking up the next day to repeat that cycle all over again. And I did that for years. And I do not miss it, man. I do not miss it. We get addicted to that lifestyle that, you know, it was hard for me to even imagine living without that fucking messed up, sick lifestyle. You know, I think that we get a thrill out of it. I know that I did sometimes, in a way, you know, walking to get my liquor, or, you know, stealing sometimes, or talking somebody to, you know, into buying you some. It was like there was a little bit of a thrill to it, and it just makes me so sick now looking back on it. And I'm happy to be out of that cycle, man. And again, man, if you're in that cycle right now, I know what it's like. You're not alone, and there is help out there. And I encourage you to take that first step, whatever that might be, whether that's going to a detox center, going to a hospital, you know, start to go to an IOP program or AA meetings, or whatever you need to do, man, to get the help that you need. Because this really is life or death, guys. And I don't want anybody to have that daily routine. It's hell on earth. So thanks, guys. Again, I wanted to just say thank you for all the comments, all the feedback. It's amazing, man. It's awesome. It's fucking awesome, man. And it's helping me. So thank you very much. I'm going to end it now, man. Stay tuned. I'm going to be trying to drop like a video every day, every other day. So stay tuned for that, man. And until next time, guys, stay safe, stay sober. It's one day at a time, 1 minute at a time if you need it to be. Yeah, man. Till next time. Peace.